So I am currently waiting on like 10 comics to come into the mail, and so I don't have anything to read. So I went to the comic shop yesterday and literally bought all the 90s X-Men they had. I got like 8 or 9 issues, and I said in my free comic book day video that I was worried they're going to be overpriced, but I forgot that they literally printed millions of them because of that. The first issue was literally the most sold comic of all time. So yeah, I got these for like cover price, and I think they did the 15% discount anyway, so I got these for like a steal, and this is a Jim Lee comic, so hell yeah, that's worth it. It's weird. I think I read this like a year or something ago, but I don't remember. And also, if you know why Longshot is a big deal, please tell me, because I don't know. So I'm gonna skip this first page, doesn't really matter, and then we see that Longshot has had a house fall on him or something, and he has no idea. I have the vaguest recollection I lost some kind of fight with some ugly fat man, and the next thing I know, I'm somewhere else. Why do I think I'm not in Kansas anymore? More importantly, more importantly, more importantly, why do I feel the need to say that? I don't even know what Kansas is. Kansas is a very successful band from the 70s. And there are no other Kansases that exist. And there's like this Wizard of Oz reference. This whole thing is a Wizard of Oz reference. He's like, if I knew where I came from, I'd have a better idea which way to get out of here. Some people like to go that way. Huh? Let's turn it down. What is that? Is that like the Cable thing where his eye's always shining? Or is that... I feel like the comet pops more through the camera, but, what is that? What is this? Is this a tattoo? What are we doing here? While others like to go this way. And then we see the X-Men. Oh, can I just say that oh no, this one doesn't have it. You'll see. The dressing on these 90s comics, not this one for whatever reason, the dressing on them might be my favorite dressing of all time, if I'm thinking of that word correctly, the dressing here, but... this one doesn't have it, so it doesn't matter. We see probably the best X-Men lineup of all time. Of course there are those who like to go both ways, but who am I to judge? Oh, psych! Psych, you dirty boy. This came out in 92. I don't think we were talking about bisexual. And he has no idea who they are, and Wolverine, uncharacteristically, he says, "You probably beat me up in grade school. Everyone else did. It hurt. Lots. I'd rather not talk about." Uh-oh. Got some bells going off in my head. What's going on here? And we see Rogue. She's strapped up and strapped down. She's got metal all over the place. She's talking. She's calling everybody howdy straight. That just makes me think of Resident Evil 4. I can't touch anyone ever. Kissing is out of the question. Well, yeah. I don't want to kiss you. You look like a double amputee. I'm not trying to go for that. Also, can we just have her like this at all times? I know you might think that the gloves are easier, but no, I think we need to just put metal all around her. And then this Jim Lee! I love his art so much. Apparently he's super late on all of his art. I didn't know that. The guy at the comic book shop told me. I tell you what's wrong with me, but it's not my place to say. I mean, who am I? A nobody, right? I'm not about to tell someone else what to do. I doubt it'd be good advice. I doubt everything. Jesus Christ, wow, are you 14 years old, Scott? I doubt everything. It's good to be skeptical, but Jesus Christ, that's heavy. That's a heavy thing to say. Then we see Wolverine. Me? The name's Wolverine. I'm the best there is at what I do. What I do is cower. And then he's literally clutching Cyclops' leg, which is so out of character. And starts... oh, he doesn't have it here. He's got it here when he's, surprised. And then he doesn't have it here, so I guess that's just, a Cable eye thing. And we see Beast is there, and he's like, ruh-roh. He's talking like Scooby-Doo, which is apparently the worst you can do to an intelligent being like the Beast. I mean, just make him... but he still retains his intelligence, he says. But you make him talk like Scooby-Doo? It's like the ultimate 90s things, because in the 90s they replayed all those 70s Scooby-Doos, so it's like, boom, Scooby-Doo. This whole comic is it's 90s as hell. It feels like a time capsule. So we see, okay, yeah. We see that, This game will apparently satisfy your need for speed. And he realizes that, oh, we're Mojo trapped us here. You're the Beast. I'm Longshot, and we're all trapped here on Mojo's world, which, wait till you get a load of this. It's too weird. So, they find out that they're being manipulated by a creature called Mojo, and he's using us to provide entertainment to an enslaved people. We're a narcotic for the masses. This whole thing is like, TV's bad, but it's, I don't know. I feel like in the 90s, there was this whole thing about how terrible TV is, but then nobody did anything about it. Just like, TV's awful, as you just continue watching television. So Scott's like, are you sure? Why would someone do that? You're not going to ask it to hit anybody, are you? And then you realize that they're in this Wizard of Oz world. And then we see Mojo. I literally have read this before. I do not recall this at all. Chuck, you're not looking so hot, my friend. So, we see that Mojo is... He's put everybody in this Wizard of Oz thing. And apparently, it's super successful. The latest figures are in, Lord Mojo. Your live broadcast of the Wizard of X has attained the highest ratings ever in the history of the Mojoverse. Of course, it's broadcast on every channel on the planet. Look at this guy. Good God. He's got cable dreadlocks. And then look at this. Look at Charles. I mean, look, if you're looking for a way to describe someone's hands being pried, or eyes being pried open, and you don't want to constantly use Clockwork Orange, just be like Mojo. Mojo did it. He did it to Charles Xavier. And you know what? I think this is the future. Wow, this really pops on camera, but it's like, it's kind of flat in real life. I think this is going to be the future, you know what I'm saying? This right here, you know who wrote this? Joe Quesada. Kind of like the guy who ended up becoming like, what, the president or some higher up or whatever. He knew that the future of entertainment is eventually going to be this classic story, but with superheroes. He knew it. And then Mojo has also got his eyes pried open. He loves television. Then we get a peek of all his people on his planet, which, good God. Not every group of mutants manages to engender an entire planet of couch potatoes possessed of the attention span of a gerbil. I don't know the attention span of gerbils, if I'm going to be for real. Simply put, the X-Men mean ratings, and on my world, ratings mean power. I mean, if you're literally the only television broadcast company, you win. You win by default. I'll show that pirate network why Mojo is the undisputed commander-in-chief. Oh, there it is. There's the command. That's right here. But I feel like this whole thing is also, it's a commentary on, like, TV, but I feel like it's also, like, the 90s were ruled by the X-Men, so I think it was a thing, sharing the idea that, people will literally watch anything with the X-Men. Case in point, Wizard of Oz with the X-Men. So, okay, so we see this, that he also has Gambit, Psylocke, Jubilee, whoever the fuck that is. And we see Jubilee's trying to talk shit, but she can't because she's fucking awful. If you don't got enough footage of that, jubilation. I always forget that that's like her full name, and then when someone says it, it just reminds me that she's like that much more awful. Why does everyone say my name like it means shut up? Because it does. Because it does. You don't deserve to be here. And Gambit, the girl has a point. Beto bes. Beto bes. Do you know what that means? I had to look it up. I mean, I had a pretty good idea. I'm pretty cultured. But it means obese beast. And that's just, and I knew in Spanish, bestia obesa, like, for some reason, bete obese, the French one, it's got more weight to it. It has a level of superiority to it. It's got a little bit of contempt to it. Maybe I need to ditch Spanish, get on French, and then also, can you just please, everyone start calling fat asses bete obese, please? Or just call him Obese Beast. Like, these 90s comics have got some incredible creative burns here. We need to start using them. I mean, Cyberfrog's ripping people anal pores, and we got Obese Beasts roaming the street. Well, not roaming. Not roaming. And then we see that Dazzler was also here. She got captured. Yeah, I'll show this. So they get captured from this guy, and then they're transferred to the Mojo-verse, and Mojo's ordering them to, okay, people, X-Men fight for their lives. Party! Yeah, obviously. And apparently, Mojo-verse again, so Mojo has been established before. This is the first time I've seen him in anything. And also, what I just want to say, this color, this pink right here, I feel like was like one of the top colors, top hues for comics in the 90s. I generally don't like pink, but I like this like red, violet, pink thing here. And we see that he shuts down the telepaths. Mojo, he's flopping Gambit all over the place, and we see Cyclops here says, the professor's right, everyone. Our only chance is to act as a team. Or as Jubilee might say. Okay, I want you to think of a 90s song. Think of a 90s song. Because that's what Jubilee might say. And then, are you ready? Did you think about yours? Do you have your choice ready? God, I wasn't even ready. It's time to pump up the jam. Pump it up. Something. I don't know the words to that song. Pump it up. It's just Cyclops. Why? Don't bring yourself down to Jubilee's level. Oh, the soundtrack. It's unbearable. And then we see Dazzler is doing her thing. Considering my mutant ability to channel sound into light. Who's worse, Dazzler or Jubilee? I don't even remember what Jubilee's powers are. They also have something to do with light? I don't know. I don't know. Also, everybody's talking about Castlevania 4. I've never played a Castlevania game in my life. Okay, so Dazzler starts just whipping ass all over the place, which is uncharacteristic of Dazzler. And she's been fighting alongside Longshot, and he just says, cut. Mojo fancies himself a director, a bit of a cinephile, if you will. Cut, and I mean that. Cut her in two and have her thrown off the lot. Lousy, temperamental, scene-stealing, nobody-bit player? I love the idea of calling Dazzler a bit player. I love that. Also, Jubilee. Jesus, what happens here? Oh, Longshot shows up, and she finds out he's under the influence of Mojo, and he tears her ass up, and eventually she's thrown into the water like the white trash she is. But eventually, she comes back, but that's alright. But just look at her, why didn't they tie cement bricks to her legs to ensure that she stayed down there? She's awful. And then we see that he's turned Gambit, Jubilee, Psylocke. Who is this? Who are you, lady? He has manipulated these guys. Just look at Professor X. Jesus Christ, man. And, yeah, and then they're about to fight. Yeah, that's it. They're about to fight. I mean, was this comic better than any of the episodes of the 90s cartoon? Probably not. But it's Jim Lee drawn, and I paid like nothing for it. And we got a lot of good insults. We got, Obese Beast, Bete Obesa, and then we're in Spanish, Bestia Obesa. We got calling Dazzler a bit player. There were a couple of digs on Dazzler I didn't even share, but God, I mean, you know what I wish this comic would have done? I wish it would have pumped up the jam, pump it up, still don't know the